Hey there and welcome. This is Steven Watches. I'm Steven and I like to watch movies. Today's video is my 12 most anticipated films of the first half of 2025. Let's dive in. First up is Presents. Presents, directed by Steven Soderbergh and starring Lucy Liu and Julia Fox. I really wanted to see this at TIFF, but I wasn't able to make it work, unfortunately. The trailer has a very eerie vibe. A lot of people online are saying the film is very haunting. Others are commenting on the fact that the film is very experimental. There's not a lot of close-ups in this, so it's a lot of wide shots. It does seem to be in Soderbergh's wheelhouse of something that he would do. Next up is Companion. So Companion, written and directed by Drew Hancock and starring Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. I didn't even know this film existed until about a week ago, when all of a sudden I saw the trailer and poster and pictures pop up online. The premise, from what I was starting to gather, just reminded me of Megan, but then I saw the trailer for the first time yesterday, and I am 100% down for this film. It looks like a wild ride. Next up is Captain America: Brave New World. The film, directed by Julius Onah and starring Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford. The trailer for this has never really sucked me in and got me interested for this film, but part of me is wondering if they're holding a lot back. Not necessarily cameos and reveals in the Deadpool sort of way, but just good, juicy stuff that will get everyone excited. I'm hoping we'll see how this fares after the blockbuster of Deadpool this year or the past year. I haven't watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus yet. Part of me is a little worried that I have to do some homework before this film, but I'm hoping not. I don't know. Next up is The Gorge. So this film is directed by Scott Derrickson, starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller. It has a super interesting premise. There's a high level of mystery for this film when I first heard about it. What is the Gorge? What are they doing there? I thought it was going to be pretty interesting to find out those answers. I watched the trailer a few hours ago. Maybe I clicked on the wrong one. I don't know. I hope not. But a lot was shown, and a little bit of the mystery has been eroded away because they explained a few things in that trailer that I really think that they should have held on to until the reveal when you're watching the film. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be good. Next up is Mickey 17. So this film is directed by Bong Joon-ho and stars Robert Pattinson and Toni Collette. This film is a little interesting because when I finally saw the trailer, part of me wanted to see it more and part of me wanted to see it less. I think the trailer was a lot more comedic than I was expecting. So part of me thought it was going to be this really hard, deep science fiction, that only Bong Joon-ho could do. And then when I saw the trailer, it was very light, very comedic, even perhaps a little silly. I wasn't entirely sure what to think about it. Honestly, though, with the cast that's involved and obviously the director, they're very capable. I should just go see it, no expectations, sit down and just enjoy it. Kind of like what I did with Parasite, and that ended up being a pretty good surprise. Next up we have Black Bag. This stars Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. This is surprisingly the second Steven Soderbergh film on my list. When I saw this trailer in theaters, part of me thought it was a very typical spy action thriller starring really great actors. But then, I don't know, there was just something to it. There was a vibe, there was something that I really attached myself to. And then of course at the end it says, directed by Steven Soderbergh, and I was like, there it is. I'm looking forward to this. It has two incredible leads, so you can't go wrong with Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. Next up is Ash. This film is directed by Flying Lotus and stars Isa Gonzalez and Aaron Paul. This is probably the one film on the list that I'm a little worried about being good, not because of the talent involved, mostly just because when I watched the trailer, it was very style over substance, heavily style over substance. Whether or not that's the case, I'll find out. I'm excited to watch it regardless. Yeah, so here's hoping that it's a great film. We'll find out. Next up, we have Sinners. This film is written and directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld. That trailer, wow. Sinners looks so good. The trailer is exceptional. That is how you cut a trailer. The music, the vibes, the images, the overwhelming feeling of dread is just insane. My anticipation level for this film is very high. Like, it's top 3 of this entire year. So let's go. Next up is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This film is directed by Christopher McQuarrie and stars Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, and the whole gang. This one I'm anticipating is going to be a pretty big film this year. I'm hoping that because it's being released in a better window, it's going to have more success, it's going to find a bigger audience. From the trailer, you've got the stunts, you've got the action, you've got the drama, you've got everything that you come to love from a Mission Impossible film, so I'm just expecting more of the same, but maybe better, hopefully better. This one is kind of being set up from the trailer to be like the final one. I don't buy that. I think if it does well at the box office, they will find a way to continue this. I'm interested to see the stunts and the action and Tom Cruise running and all of that, but mostly interested to see how they'll wrap up the story that they started from Dead Reckoning. Next up is 28 Years Later. So this is directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland and Danny Boyle, and stars Aaron Taylor Johnson and Ralph Fiennes. This is a film that I've been waiting for a very, very, very long time. I love 28 Days Later. I love 28 Weeks Later. I cannot wait for this film. This is probably, I would say, maybe my most anticipated of this entire year. Let's talk about the trailer for a second, because the trailer was an absolute knockout. 28 Years Later and Sinners are so far my 2 favorite trailers for films that are coming out in 2025. I am a huge fan of these films. Because Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are coming back for this, it's going to be a wild one for sure. Apparently, Cillian Murphy is not going to be featured in this first film of this new trilogy. I don't buy that completely. I think that right at the end of the first film, I think we're going to get a glimpse. That's my prediction anyway. Next up, we have Elio. It stars Jonas Kibriab as Elio and Zoe Saldana. This film was originally directed by Adrian Molina, but Adrian left the project, so now it's being directed by Madeline Sharafian and Domi Shi. Why am I looking forward to this film? Well, we got a teaser trailer about a year ago, maybe a little bit more, and it had a certain tone to it, and this was when it was being directed by Adrian Molina. Now, Adrian Molina made Coco. The teaser trailer felt very Coco. Then Adrian Molina left the project. Now it's being handled by Madeline Sharafian and Domi Shi. Now, Domi Shi made Turning Red. This new trailer that we got about a month ago feels closer to Turning Red than it does to Coco. But is the end result going to be more Coco, more Turning Red, or is it going to be somewhere in the middle, like a Turning Coco? And finally, we have F1. So this is directed by Joseph Kosinski and stars Brad Pitt and Carrie Condon. This film is interesting for 3 reasons. 1 being the ballooned budget that's out of control. It's been refuted, but who knows. 2, they've apparently used custom-built cameras to get all of that racetrack action for us. And 3, being that it is another Apple TV Plus film on this list, and Apple TV Plus has been kind of hit or miss with their films. Great for their series, their films not so much. And that's it. Those are my 12 most anticipated films of the first half of 2025. I'll be back later in the year to deliver my next 12. What are your most anticipated films of 2025? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.